Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace. We'll get started in a second. Let the room fill up a little bit. All right, tonight's discussion is going to be on the bronzen or brazen serpent, Kundalini, Moses, and the Messiah. We're going to get deep into that information. Continuation from the last two. We're going to get it in. So join us. That cup of cup, boy, I'm telling you, ain't no joke. All right. Come on in, come on in. All right, you know how we do. Just not the normal parroting more. We actually break the information down. We don't study Islam in the sense of the Arab traditions. So kill that noise. We'll practice what is called Islamism, which is Samatawi, which is yoga. Kriya yoga, Tantra yoga, Kundalini yoga. That's Samatawi. Samatawi is the ancient Temerian or Kemet Egyptian name of postures and exercises and positions in which that you can do, along with mantras and mudras, hand positions. So this is what you have to realize when it comes to real Islam, which is actually called Sarim, Sarim, or Sarim. That is Islam. Sarim means the sanctuary of peace. Ancient Kemetic word, not an Arab, Pale Arab word. Islam, just like Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism, Hinduism, is all derived from the ancient Kemetic, Temerian, Egyptian mysteries. We've already proven that many times on this station. All right, so you have to realize that. That's what's really taking place here, is complete understanding, understanding of these mysteries, and so that we can all be at the next level of consciousness and awareness. Because I'm seeing a lot of misinformation, disinformation here on YouTube, and it just doesn't make any sense. And people are asking me all the time about the corrections to the misinformation, disinformation that they have heard and that they have seen here on YouTube. And it's plenty, because you got different states of consciousness. Oh, no. And so it's different states of consciousness that we're talking about. We told y'all that there's 7 states of consciousness. Most people are at interpersonal consciousness, which is caught up to me, myself, and I. That's their linear understanding, right? They real linear. They really do use about less than 10% of their brain for real. More likely around 2%. right? Of the cerebral cortex. Then you have intrapersonal consciousness. That's when you start going more into family, friends, associates, you know. Then you have life consciousness. That's when you begin to start understanding that, the planet itself is living. Everything is alive, it's living, you know. How could the planet be dead and bring you forth? Because the various elements is within the atmosphere surrounding the planet Earth and on the Earth itself. So that's when you begin to start saying, I don't want a letter. Let me go and get that trash to pick that up and put that in the trash can. Or, let me go to the recycling bins and get, the glass and get the plastic and put them in the proper places where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? That's when you get in tune with the planet Earth. You learn life consciousness. Then you get into subconsciousness, super consciousness, magnetic consciousness, and infinite consciousness. So you got different people at different levels of consciousness. A person who's at interpersonal consciousness can't even fathom somebody who's at infinite consciousness. All right. So what I'm trying to do is get you to at least magnetic consciousness so you can take yourself on into infinite consciousness. Okay? But you definitely got to get the fuck up out of interpersonal and intrapersonal and life consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You got to go deeper into consciousness, subconsciousness, superconsciousness, magnetic consciousness, infinite consciousness. You got to go deeper, So we know that the three bodies that survive according to the ancient Kemetic mysteries or Sumerian mysteries is your Ba, your Ka, and your Aku. All right, that will correlate to infinite consciousness, magnetic consciousness, and super consciousness. Those three conscious levels or states exist after the death of the physical body, and these are states of mind. Right? The mind is the soul. Is also the breath. It's also prana. Right? It is also the Jesus Christ within you. Right? Within you. Right? Not no man from 2,000 years ago, pale or otherwise. Right? This is what's going on. All right, so we're gonna get into tonight's discussion. All right, let's get on up in here. Going to the presentation. You know how we do. All right, so let's get up on here. All right, we got our upcoming events. All right, we got our online classes. All right, we have our online classes. All right, you can go to the website, dralimel-bey.com, and you can look at the online classes. All right, we do everything from Qigong, Tai Chi, Reiki, pranic healing, reflexology, acupressure, irisology, herbalism, spiritual life coaching, training, and they're all certified. You can get certifications for each and every one of them. All right, some last a month, some last to 3 months. All right, you go online and see the agendas and the outline course information. That's on dralimel-bey.com. All right, so that's the Healing Wings Institute. All right, and our online classes. All right, we've been doing these classes now for over 10 years. All right, and we really started 30 years ago doing classes when you was able to come into our bookstore. All right, we had the Hall of Knowledge bookstore, in which that I was the chairman, in which that we had back in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and you was able to come every Wednesday and Sunday to the classes for free. Yeah, for free. You know what I'm saying? And then we had another bookstore right after that, in which that was called Cultural Freedom Bookstore. And we did that for 11 years. And now we have both of them online, which that you can go to www.dralimel-bey.com. And we also have a physical location coming to you soon. All right. But we do have the training courses, which you can come to every Sunday and Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to learn this information more in depth. Oh, y'all thought that what we did with these classes was deep? That's nothing till you get into the actual application. All right, so then we have our event coming up September 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. That's coming up in less than a month, y'all. All right, 3 days of the most enlightening practical knowledge and actionable information on the planet. And it will be. All right, you'll learn how to heal yourself and heal others. You'll learn Reiki 1, Pranic Healing Basic, Qigong, and Tai Chi 1. And you will get certified in all 4 of those during the 3 days in which that you would come September 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. All right, if you want to do Reiki 2 or Reiki 3, that will have to be additional funds. We also do different forms of Reiki. We do Ushi Reiki, which is by Mukeo Ushi. Refound or rediscovered by him in the 1920s. We also do Angel Reiki or Angelic Reiki. We also do Comedic, or what is called Shekum Reiki. We also do Kundalini Reiki. All right. We also do the Grand Master level Reiki. So you can get in where you fit in, as they say. All right, but remember, this is coming to North Carolina. Y'all need to come for these 3 days. I ain't playing with y'all. This is serious. September 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Come on out and join us. All right, you got any questions? Give us a call at 910-364-9099. That's 910-364-9099. All right, then we coming to South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, September the 7th. All right, that's in a week and a half, almost 2 weeks from now. September the 7th, 2018. All right, 2018, September the 7th. We're going to be at Rotopian Bliss, all right, from 6 p.m. to probably 10 p.m. And it's at 8502 Two Notch Road, Suite 1, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223. You call Chief Chef Sasha Lone at 803-518-8927 at Rotopian Bliss. All right. The suggested donation at the door is $10. And I'm going to speak on the occult science of the holy breath. Then the same weekend, we got September the 9th. September the 9th. 2018 is going to be at the Moorish Medicine in Decatur, Georgia. That's near the ATL, Atlanta. It's going to be at 2440 Wesley Chapel Road, Decatur, Georgia, 30035. And you can call Brother Sid and his wife, Tiana, Chiefs in training there, and that's 678-615-2547. All right, that's 678-615-2547. All right, suggested donation at the door is $10. And I'll be speaking on the Syrians and Anunnakians, the Nagas, and Malkuth, the world of the making. That shit is going to be deep. You can just tell from the damn title, you know you better have your ass there. All right, so let's continue on. We mustn't confuse mastery with mimicry, knowledge with superstitious ignorance. All right, we're just going to say that once for all. All right, so let's get on down to it. All right, so we know within the nations of gods and earth, 5 percenters, within the nation of Islam, and within the Moorish Science Temple of America / Moorish Holy Temple of Science of the World, that they teach that Jesus means justice. But they don't explain what justice is. Most people think it's just a word. Well, what we find out is that in the Adept Chamber 36, it says, what does the name Jesus mean? Jesus means justice. Well, the Adept Chamber lesson, Jesus means justice because Jesus is symbolic and is a metaphor for justice or Mayat. Mayat is the personification of justice and righteousness upon which Allah, or Heru, God, has created the universe, and Mayat is also the essence of God in creation. Therefore, it is Mayat who judges the soul when it arrives in the judgment hall of Mayat. Mayat herself becomes the scales upon which the heart of the initiate is judged. All right, Mayat judges the heart, unconscious mind of the initiate in an attempt to determine to what extent the heart has lived in accordance with Mayat and truth, correctness, reality, genuineness, uprightness, righteousness, justice, steadfastness, and unalterably nature of creation. So Heru is in reality Ra, Ptah, Min, Anpu, or Saw. And like Saw, he is androgynous. Therefore, Heru is also Mayat, or Het Heru, or Set. Even more importantly, Heru is also the hawk, the Ba, the symbol of the eternal human soul. So here we have the sword, because Jesus said he would be like a sword. You know, next time he'll come with a sword. Right, that symbolizes justice. But then we also look at the same angle of a scimitar to that of the carcass / what's called I guess you can call it the sacral or tailbone. That's what they oftentimes call it, but we want to refer to it as the sacral, which means the sacred place, because this is the abode of the Kundalini. Right, the Kundalini, which is also called Umbelini by the South African shaman. All right, that's what he said he was taught, that it was called Umbelini. Then, of course, we later on from out of Africa, we get the word Kundalini. All right, but Umbelini, is the sound of which that helps to awaken that energy. All right, this is the same place where the 8 dividing cells of mitosis still resides at in your spinal column, or in particular in your sacral bone. All right, it is here. So in this case, you're talking about that seed, that fish in which that comes down into the solar plexus, into the manger, in which that the Kundalini raises up in order to take it back into the heavens. All right, that is the ascension of the Christ, of the fish. Jesus said, I had to go be about my Father's business. Then later on, that was all symbolic to the fact of him seeing Andrew and Peter. All right, and he called them fishermen of men, and he would teach them how to be fishermen of men. Right, so the fish becomes his symbol, of course. And of course, we find out that Christians have that good old symbol on the back of their cars. Good Christians have that on the back, in which that symbolizes that fish, in which that is supposed to be risen every 28 days during the moon cycle in the solar plexus in order to obtain regeneration. All right, so why does Muhammad make the devil study for 35 to 50 years before he can call himself a Muslim son and wear the greatest and only flag of the universe? All right, now that is the sun, moon, and star. Now, we told y'all before that the sun, moon, and star, even though it's in the form of a flag, is actually symbolic to the 3 major glands in your brain: the pineal gland, pituitary gland, and the hypothalamus gland, the optic thalamus gland. All right, so it says, and he must add a sword at the upper part of the holy and greatest universal flag of Islam, right? So that he may clean himself up. A Muslim does not love the devil regardless of how long he studies. After he has devoted 35 to 50 years trying to learn and do like the original man, he could come and do trading among us, and we would not kill him as quick as we would the other devils, that is, who has not gone under this study. After he's gone through with this labor from the 35 to 50 years, we permit him to wear our holy flag, which is the sun, moon, and star, and must add the sword at the upper part. And of course, that sword becomes the Shriner, which that they have the sword over top of their head, of what actually is of a woman. The sword is the emblem of justice, and it is used by the original man in Muhammad's time. Thus, it was placed at the upper part of the flag so that the devil can always see it, so that he must keep in mind that anytime he reveals the secrets, his head will be taken off by the sword. He gave him this chance so that he could clean himself up and come among us. The holy flag of Islam is the greatest and only flag known. The universe is everything, sun, moon, and star. They are planets. Planets are something grown with or made from the beginning. And holy is something that has not been diluted, mixed, or tempered in any form. All right, so that's why I was talking about Samatawi, the union of the two lands, symbolic to Heru and Set. This is coming forth from this pic. Is also found in Muwatta Ashby's Egyptian yoga. But in the 102s and in the 101s, it says, what is the devil sometimes called? The lower self. How many selves are there? Two. Name them, higher self and lower self. Heru symbolizes the higher self. Set symbolizes the lower self. What people represents the holy self? The angels who protect the holy city of Mecca. And what people represents the lower self? Those who was cast out of the holy city and those who accepted their teachings. What is the higher self? The higher self is the mother of virtues and harmonies of love and breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Can the higher self pass away? No. Why? Because it is a law in man. Right? So Heru is within you, so is Set. All right? Matter of fact, Set symbolizes the four lowest chakras, and Heru symbolizes the three highest chakras. And the Kundalini dwelling within the four lowest chakras symbolizes that Setian energy. And then the Kundalini dwelling within the three highest chakras symbolizes the Heru or Heruhood energy. All right. So because it is a law in man, what does the lower self breathe? Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met Satan? Where are you going, Satan? What was the answer that the lower self gave to the higher self? I'm going to and fro the earth, seeking whom I may devour. All right. He has finished his task of devouring. Yes. When has he? When his time declared out? When he nailed Jesus to the cross. What was the last words Jesus uttered? It is finished. All right. So you go to the Holy Quran, Circle 7, 36 chapter. Holy instruction from the prophet, know thyself. It says, know thyself in the pride of his creation. The line uniting divinity and matter. Well, you notice Heru and Set are tying the line. Notice that. This same thing, this is what is meant by Prophet Noble Ali said he was an Egyptian adept, because in here, he told you about the pride of creation, the line uniting divinity and matter. So here you have divinity, which symbolizes Heru, and then Set, who symbolizes matter. Behold, a part of Allah himself within thee. Remember thy own dignity, nor dare descend to evil or to meanness. So we find out that the know thyself is Samatawi, which is Islamism, the everlasting gospel, Moorish science. All of that is the same thing. All right, so, all right. So here we have Kundalini yoga is based on the Kriyas, groups of synergetic exercises that amplifies each other effects, delivering greater benefits for the energy you put in. Yogi Bhajan claim that Kundalini Yoga yields psycho-spiritual results 16 times faster than Hatha Yoga. 2 years of Kundalini Yoga is equivalent to a lifetime practice of Hatha Yoga. Some of the most commonly observed effects are increase in efficiency of circulatory and respiratory capacity, strengthening of the immune system, strengthening of the nervous system, strengthening or clearing the mind, specifically clearing the subconscious mind and sharpening perception, strengthening muscles, skeletal muscles, deep muscles, and muscles of the heart, relaxing the metabolism, development of flexibility, breaking up the calcium deposits of joints, balancing the glandular system, improving digestive and eliminative strength, detoxification and rejuvenation, changing attitude to stress, utilizing stress for personal growth, faster abilities to relax and rebalance after work, deeper relaxation, positive attitude to the future, greater abilities to discriminate what makes us happy and set goals in life. All right, so that's the signs of Kundalini awakenings. And see, this is what we're talking about, where Queen Mutua speaks about. This is from Working the Snake Power, a Zulu view in Zulu Shaman, page 13 by Queen Mutua, right? Avisa Amazulu. So right here it says, Queen Mutua states, my grandfather also taught me how to control my powers of seeing and how to sharpen them and make them more accurate and efficient. He taught me the art of breathing properly. He taught me the secret of art of joining my mind to that of the great gods, to the unseen. He taught me how to sit still, very still, and eliminate all thoughts from my mind and call upon the hidden powers of my soul. In short, my grandfather taught me the Zulu version of what is called in English meditation, how to breathe softly, gently, like a whisper, until you feel something like a hot coiled snake bursting through the top of your head, a fearsome thing that is known as the Umbelini. This Umbelini, right, my grandfather told me is the source and the primal source of the Sangoma's powers. And the Sangoma must be able to summon this Umbelini at will through the beating of the drum and through meditation, very, very deep meditation. All right. So the Kung Nation of Africa, who resides in the Kalahari Desert, or one of the societies referred to as the Bushmen. The Kung people had knowledge of the life force inherited in the human body. They would begin by engaging in long hours of ritualistic dance, right? Just like the swirling dervishes of Sufism. And the goal is to arouse Noom or life force, which is said to reside in the pit of the stomach. Now that is the lower dantian or navel chakra, right? That's what we're talking about here. So the Umbelini, right, it is a state achieved through sitting still, deep breathing, eliminating thoughts, and drawing up the power of the soul. Right? Kundalini in Hinduism and Buddhism, similar archetypes. All right, but that's the science right there. Something like a hot coiled snake bursting through the top of your head. All right, that is, of course, nothing more than Kundalini. Right, within ancient Egypt is also called Uraeus or serpent crown, shown on the Egyptians and Nubians royalties, is known as the Nagar or the Nagas. Among many indigenous African cultures, the Uraeus is the symbol of wisdom, power, and protection. All right, so we got into the world's 16 crucified saviors of Christianity before Christ, in which that by Percy Graves. And basically what we find out is that there's about 35 different crucified saviors in some shape, form, or fashion. And they all speaks of particular things: angels, shepherds, magi's, December the 25th, saviors who descend into hell or not. You know, it all depends on what you're reading from them. But they all have similar storyline. So as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Now this is John 3:14. All right. And so Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. So the Son of Man must be too. What was that serpent? It was called the Naga. The cobra is a symbol of Kundalini power, cosmic energy coiled and slumbering within man, 3.5 times coiled at the base of the spine. It inspires seekers to overcome these deeds and suffering by lifting the serpent power up the spine into God realization. All right. So just as Moses lifted up the serpent or the snake in the desert, so the Son of Man must be lifted up, that everyone who believed in him may have everlasting life. So lift up the Kundalini, lift up the Son of Man, so that you can begin to start having everlasting life. Because Numbers 21:9 says that Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon the pole, and it came to pass that if the serpent had bitten any man, when he behold the serpent in brass, he lived. All right, so this brazen or bronzen serpent that Moses took, that Jesus is talking about lifting up like Moses, is Kundalini. All right, that's what you have to understand. So he be have busted. So we know that the signs of Moses, if you go to the third dynastic period with Imhotep, you'll find Tahuti doing the same thing, and that's bestowing the signs of life from the serpent. Right? Tahuti has 2 serpents in his hand. Of course, each one symbolizes Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, or the crown itself, which would be symbolic to that crown that they put on Jesus' head. All right, that made him kings of kings and lords of lords. We know that is called Nagas Nagus. Nagas Nagus within Ethiopian tongue means the king of kings, but it's called Nagas Nagus. All right, so this Naga or Naga all symbolizes this serpent energy. All right, so here it is. He slew the Egyptian and hid his body in the sand. After the spirit of Jesus had come to the brain of Egypt, it is dark, it is the darkness. The spirit force that has delivered to the brain, it sees a thought of the lower mind attempting to slay the Israelites. All right, remember, Israel means he who ascends to God, right? Which is the child of the blood. This force, which has been conserved, slay his body thought and hides itself in the pineal gland, the sand. Right? So it says, reference Moses and the serpent in the wilderness. The war, right? It's the war, right? And it says the first fish is to lift the serpent from the belly, the solar plexus, the center of the stomach, wilderness, up to the rightful home. He that liveth and believeth in me shall never die. In other words, shall not perish, but have everlasting life. You believe in God, believe also in me. You have been in the midst of this death and see all is around us. All right. We are slaves to traditions. The thoughts of death has been carried with us. All right. I come to that ye may have life and life more abundantly. Right? And the more spirit you have housed away within the body, the more life you have. So the more you are able to gather this prana or chi or ki energy, right, which also symbolizes the serpent energy in a sense, right? Right. So people say I haven't the spirit. Well, that is true. That have no spirit force conserved. The more spirit force you have housed away, the more life you have. So the more qigong, the more tai chi, the more pranic healing, right, that you're able to do, the more you're able to bear witness to that energy. So the fish of Jesus is symbolic also to the religious myth had from Babylon, which is the priest of the ancient Dagon, which is actually the Dogons. All right. So we find that Dagon and the Dogon, right, Sirius mystery, that nomos and onens. All right. So when you start studying, you find some things. So right here it says Sirius Mystery is the book first published by Robert Temple, 1976. And it says the Dogon legends, similar to that of other tales by primitive people of the visit from the sky, speaks of an ark descending to the ground amidst a great wind. All right. Now, Robert Temple interprets this as the landing of a rocket-powered spaceship bringing beings from the star Sirius. But according to Dagon legend, the descent of the ark, take it? Get that from. Get that from. And so right here, you find that according to Dogon legend, the descent of the ark being brought to Earth are amphibious beings or groups of beings known as the Nomos. Nomos is a collective name for the great culture hero and founder of the civilization who came from the Sirius system to set up systems on the Earth. Temple explained much of the Temple's book is devoted to establishing that the Dogon share common roots with the Mediterranean peoples. They explained the central place occupied by Sirius and Dogon belief, because the ancient Egyptians in particular were also preoccupied with Sirius being their calendar on its yearly motion. So Nomo is supposed to have been from the Sirius system, even though, right, you deal with astronomy or astronomical theory virtually precludes the possibility that Sirius is a suitable parent star for life, or that it can be or have habitable planets, habitable planets, so it can be inhabited. And so it's also known that the Sumerian Onan is identified by George Michanowski as a Hellenistic version of Sumerian named Enki or Ea. In his book, The Once and Future Star, The Mysterious Vela X Supernova and the Origin of Civilization. Also, Onan is thought to be the Uan or Uan of the Babylonian myth, sometimes identified with Adapa, which is actually Enki. Which is Enoch. All right. The equally mystical first king of Eridu, also identified by some as the Adrahasid, right? The hero of the Babylonian version of the flood legend. Temple claimed that the bas relief of the Sumerian demigod Onan, which depicts a fishman, proves Nomo was the author and identifies as the ancestors of the Dogon Nomo myth, was an amphibious extraterrestrial. Unfortunately, he neglects to mention other bas relief which shows fish deers, fish lions, and which subsequently suggests that the fish motif was symbolic and not descriptive. Since there is supposed to be a correlation to ancient civilizations, let us consider an ancient Assyrian tale of Onan, a amphibious who imparted knowledge to humanity. This is from Barroso and Arcadia Belarusu. It goes back to early third BC. Babylonia, Book 1. And Jesus crossed on the crown of Adam or Golgotha. Right. So this fish and then the Kundalini energy, as it raise up, it takes this fish that is formed after the 29 days within the solar plexus to give birth. It takes it on up into the heavens, which would be the sky or your sky, your crown. All right. That is all symbolic to the Black Madonna and child. All right. So the Kundalini takes up this divine seed, right, with it into the heavens. That is once again the Black Madonna and child. All right. So you get the book, The Hidden Treasures of Creation. The Black Madonna is also called the Black Virgins, bear secret and the mystery of the original creative force, of course, because it symbolizes prana. A mystery to that enclosed upon the genetic blueprint of every person, but which is obscured by the church. The Black Madonna symbolizes the power of the primal mother, the feminine principle, or feminine aspects, also called the mother, the great mother, eternal mother goddess. The name is not rather important. What's important or matters is the core, the essence. Okay. So right here we have Isis and Mary Magdalene, because Mary Magdalene was actually Isis, a form of Isis. The Black Madonna symbolizes the knowledge of the Grail and the knowledge of the primal powers of the feminine uh, principle, whose embodiment on earth were, among others, Mary Magdalene, the daughter of Sarah, Queen of Sheba, and Isis. All right, so here we have information concerning Mary, and you got to understand that it's all metaphysical. All right, so here it is. It says Mary Magdalene gave the company to the following message. I was the living energy of the feminine principle. I, Mary Magdalene, I am Black Madonna. As Black Madonna, I am the source of power. I am energy field. We exist in this land, in this surrounding, the land of the Cathars and the Essenes, the land of the Templars, who lived and exist as a group of 12 female disciples, and I as primordial source of the primordial power. Cursed and forgotten we are. It is the area from which is now in your age, all right, said in your age called Western Europe, forces were present when did not wish to know the truth, right, and meaning of the creation of humanity. When Jesus and I brought forth the seed and imparted and implanted it in the ley line system of the earth, the first, a harsh winter word come, and let me see, yeah, all right. And we're gonna go back up here. Oh, how long have I now waited until the divine feminine energy, which finally be released again, until once more Black Madonnas rise, which will bring back fruit to the tree of life and the earth. How long have I been waiting? Our lips and our bodies are sealed, for the book of life was not longer allowed to be propagated. Like the coffers was sprung in a fire. All right. But I will return. In 700 years I will return, and then shall the seed of Jesus and Mary Magdalene germinate. I will return, for it will germinate within me. It will germinate within me. Right? This is the Jesus Christ within you that the Bible speaks of. Second Corinthians.
Okay, Mujin, Super chat, $10.
Appreciate that. Much love. Much love.
He
Appreciate
said, Dr. Alim El-Bey, you are a cool guy, man. One of the few that I listen to.
Oh, word. Appreciate that.
Then you also had Yael Allah Amin Ra, Whirlwind.
Oh, brother Ya, Whirlwind is in the house. We got Allah. Appreciate that, God.
Bay, he super chatted $2.
Appreciate that, brother Anthony. Much love.
And then he did 20, so he just gave 20.
Oh, word, God. Appreciate that. Much thanks. All right, we'll continue on. So this Kundalini is what we call the Black Madonna and Child. This is why it's found, this Black Madonna and Child emblem, whether it's a statuette, whether it's a painting, it is found in over 200 countries worldwide. And it symbolizes the Kundalini and this fish or this seed in which that is manifested every 28 days in the solar plexus. All right. That is the hub or the home for this seed, which is also referred to as chrism, right? In which that must be risen up back up to the Father who art in heaven, right? And the only one that can do that is the Kundalini. So the Kundalini is the sacred force visualized as a serpent within us, awakening through chakra and through your practice of yoga. This force raised from the base of the spine to blossom as realization. Once she reaches the cranial region above the head, which is called Shakti, is the name of the goddess, which denotes energy. All right, her name is also Sophia, also Mary, also Shechem or Segmat or Set. In higher Tantra and the South Indian Siddhas, philosophy and Tibetan yoga, red lotus, the Kini, the Kundalini Shakti is invoked as the feminine energy form, reddish in color, dazzle in beauty, youth, and pleasure form. This form enables the yogi or yogian or yogini to dissolve the male principle within and find no more need to seek the external, as they are united by her presence within themselves to find their wholeness. All right. Sages worship her as the divine grace. Hell, the Catholic Church worship her. That's who they call on to my Hail Mary when they do something wrong. Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary. They got their prayer beads. All right. Kundalini Shakti, when awakened, explodes in energy and moves upward through every subtle energy center, blossoming with radiance and showering divine grace on her path. She gushes above, stretching the body upward as her spine straightens. Her hands are giving guidance, nurture, protection, and sustain the yogi. Her hand above holds time, space, matter, dissolve to enable dissolve earthly perception. It enters the higher reality in meditation. Her head is the supreme wisdom tearing at the veil of the illusion Maya. Her body is the halo or halo who you see depicted above the heads of the saints and divine beings. She is pure cosmic energy, experienced as the joy and bliss within us and physical. She is the psychic heat generated while uniting with the divine, and then the painting depicts the goddess as Mother Kundalini, raising above to the completeness of a yogi. And as you see, this cobra over top of the head is talking about the golden dragon body. All of that is symbolic. So we know that Abraham, Sarah, and his wife Hagar are allegories, because we can find the same information in the Hindu text. Who was Abraham? All right, so here we have that in the history of the Jews, the Jewish scholar and theologian Flavius Josephus 37 through 100 AD, wrote that the Greek philosophers Herodotus, or Aristotle, excuse me, has said these Jews are derived from the Indian philosophers. They are named by the Indian Kalani, right, book 122. And then you have Clicus of Soli writes, the Jews descended from the philosophers of India. The philosophers are called by India Kalani and the Syrian Jews. The name of the capital is difficult to pronounce. It is called Jerusalem. Okay. Magus, Magadines, Magadines, who was also sent to India by Seleucus Nicator about 300 years before being Christ, and which accounts to the new inquiry, or each everyday quiet is requiring additional credit, which and say that the Jews were the Indian tribes or sect called Kalani. All right, this is Anacalyptics by Godfrey Higgins. All right, he breaks it down. All right. All right. Because there's some certain striking similarity between the Hindu god Brahma and his consort Saraswati, and the Jewish Abraham and Sarai. Right? There's more than mere coincidence. Although in all India there's only one temple dedicated to Brahma, and this cult is the third largest Hindu cult. All right, so right here, I'm not going to read everything, but right here it says the identity of Abraham and Sarai, or Sarah, was Brahma and Saraswati, was first pointed out by the Jesuit missionaries, volume 1, page 387. Right. In Hindu mythology, Saraswati is Brahma's sister. The Bible gives two stories of Abraham. In the first version, Abraham told Pharaoh that he was laying with his when he introduced Sarah as his sister. In the second version, he also told the king of Gerar that Sarah was really his sister. However, when the king scolded him for lying, Abraham said that Sarah was in reality both his wife and sister, and yet she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. But the anomalies did not end there. In India, a tributary of the river Saraswati is Hagar. Another tributary of the same river is Hakra. According to Jerusalem Jewish traditions, Hagar and Sarai, it says maidservant, and it says that basically the Muslims say that she was an Egyptian princess. Notice the similar of Hagar, Hakra, and Hagar. All right. Also Hathor, and Het Heru. The Bible also states that Emmanuel, son of Hagar, and his sons living in India. All right, it comes down. It is also interesting to find the name of Isaac and Ishmael is also derived from Sanskrit. Hebrew is Isaac, and in Sanskrit it is Isaacu, friend of Shiva. Hebrew Ishmael, Sanskrit is Ishmahal, which means great Shiva. And so you have the three wise men. Get the book, The Four Gospels, Esoterically Interpreted by John P. Scott. The three wise men represents the three extra nerves in the sacral region of the body, which the neophyte will spiritualize in time. when these three wise men or nerves follow the star up to the Bethlehem in the body, he will become attuned to the solar instead of the lunar months. All right. We will need less food, less sleep, and we will possess much more personal power. The gift of the three wise men is not something imaginary, but also very real and very wonderful. The east represents the lower region of the body. Bethlehem, the house of bread, symbolizes the solar plexus or manger of the body. All right. Real anointing is when the Kundalini raises itself to the brain, bringing with it the oil or chrism of life from the sacrum of the body. All right. So the seed of fish, this oil or chrism, also dwells within the sacral. Yeah. All right. So this is what we're talking about. So really look at the signs of the colostrum, right? It is here that this oil is excreted once a month in the body by the ancients called the Christos or the Christ. So this is why it says, do you not know that Christ lives within you or dwells within you? Get the four gospels esoteric interpreted again. And of course, we know that the three wise men brought the gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Okay. The gifts brought by the wise men represents added forces or qualities which were produced as a result of the spiritualization of the three extra pairs of nerves. The first gift, gold, represents the wisdom, and it requires a stretch of the imagination to do for us to see that which we have been spiritualized, these extra pair of nerves. The second gift is frankincense. Frankincense means the oil of life. Those who wish to know more concerning this oil, all right, and it works and its workings in the body, we suggest the study of Revelation, esoterically interpreted by the author, page 29, 20 in this book, in the physiological statement by the professor of Cornell, explains in detail the workings. All right. And the results of the oil of life in the body. And this is what this whole thing is about. All right, so the next gift is myrrh. Myrrh represents purity. So here you had the wise men bring, each one gave Jesus a particular, right, gifts. And of course, frankincense is the oil of life, right? And myrrh represents purity. So symbolically, the active activity of the three wise men is another way of expressing regeneration, and then natural brings the gift of purity, right? That's the science here. And the last verse of the chapter 2 tells us that the spiritual force and regeneration is not brought directly into Jerusalem or the head. This is a process through which takes place in which the force is raised little by little. Okay. Galilee was looked down upon by the many people at that time. Thus, the Christ principle must dwell in and spiritualize the humble phrase. All right. The humble phases of our being before it can be brought or raised to Jerusalem. Right. The final steps produce an enlightened consciousness or illumination. And that's what we're trying to find and do. So the sacred secretions and the cerebral spinal fluids, the Christ within. The anointing of the secretions, a substance named, once named chrism, the origin of the word Christ becomes anointed, and anointed Christ within us, all is born in the sacred place, or what's called the sacral plexus, where the 5 fuses on vertebrae of the spine meets. The Christ seed is born here and begins his journey up to 33 vertebrae to be crucified, amplified, and powered. When it meets the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, after spending 3 days in the hypothalamus, the tomb, it creates a circuit causing the secretion of DMT, honey, and serotonin, milk. When the seed and oil is preserved and returned, you are in short reach the promised land, all right, and becomes a perfect antenna for prayer. You walk through the gates of nirvana. Right, so as the Jordan River empties into the Dead Sea, so the spinal cord terminates in the section of the anatomy known as Sodom, the region in which that Joseph referred to as the Lake of Sodom. Jesus is not a savior until he was Christ or Christ, baptized and anointed of John, not by John. John or Ananias is the oil or anointment, okay? The sacred fluid from the colostrum, one yellow and the other is white, is the milk and honey referred to in the Bible, right? The children of Israel, or Israel, having been given a promise to return to the land flowing with milk and honey. So Numbers 14:8, it says, if the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us into the land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. All right, this is 1 John 2:27, John 7:38. All right, the stream of living waters that flows within him. This is in the book of John. All right. So as for you, the anointing which received by him abides in you, and you have no need for anyone to teach you, but as the anointing teaches you everything. All right. So here we have the rising of the chrism, the Santa Claus, Joseph, Mary, and the crucifixion. The sacred oil returns. All right, so you got the. I'm sorry if you hear me pausing. I'm drinking some water. I'm in my cup. I apologize for that, but got to keep myself, replenished. All right, so colostrum is where we get the word Santa Claus from. He comes down the chimney, right, and brings the gifts. All of that is talking about that honey and that milk and honey. Okay. Also, DMT, pinoline, so forth and so on. But see, the colostrum is the seat of all consciousness of the body. All right, so the brain operates on the same amount of power as a 10-watt light bulb. The cartoon image of a light bulb over the head when a great thought occurs isn't too far off the mark. Your brain generates as much energy as a small light bulb, even when you're sleeping. According to Dr. Bohan, the brain is capable of performing 10 quadrillion, that's 10 to the 16th, calculations or synapses events, even second, using only 10 watt of power. The cartoon image of the light bulb over the head, like we said, isn't off the mark. Your body gives off enough heat in 30 minutes to bring a half a gallon of water to a boil. Your body expands to a large number of calories, right, helping us boil. Our bodies expend a large amount of calories, keeping us at a steady 98.6 degrees, even the boiling water or even cooked pasta, right? If you've seen the matrix, you are aware of the energy potentially generated by the human body. Right? The pineal gland reduces the production of the light sensitivity hormone melatonin from 90% activity in night and 10% 10 inactive during the day. And serotonin is 10 inactive at night and 90% active during the day. Right? All right, so the universe basically itself is 10% visible light spectrum. That's the sun, the stars, the moon, planets, comets, asteroid, dust, gas, etc., etc. And then the 90% is invisible dark matter or black energy. It's the glue that holds the universe contents together. Also, only 10% of the DNA is coding or active, while 90% of the DNA is non-coding or inactive. The difference between humans and the fireflies, that 90% bioluminescence of heat escapes the top of the head. And as we told you before, you're supposed to reverse that polarity. 90% supposed to stay inside your body to be able to transform into a light being. The other 10% basically leaves the body as heat. All right. So, retains within humans, it remains as the 10% remains as the little bit of light that you let off from your aura. This is where Christians get this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine from. All right. So that's what that is talking about. But you're supposed to reverse that polarity. 90% is supposed to be kept within your body. 10% releases heat. Right. That's how you want that. Now, in the area of the brain here, you have the brain stem or the reptilian portion of the brain. Now, there's 12 centers or sites of melanin or melanin centers or sites. It's called the loco coeruleus, which means the black hole. It also means the amenta neuromelanin tract. It's the principle of neuropine friend nerve supplies to the cortex. It involves the REMs, sleep. It allows an individual to remain conscious while dreaming. In other words, lucid dreaming, especially during astral travel or projection events, as well as during soul travel events. All right. It also helps in the process of recalling dreams. And you have the substantia nigra, which means black substance. The 11th and the chain of the brain, all right, which is actually stem, the brain stem, neuromelanin, nerve tract. Loss of neuromelanin in this nucleus is known to result in a disorder as Parkinson's disease, aluminum accumulation. All right. You have the brachialis, right? You have the ponagratis, the intra polarius, right? Right, the nerva trigemini, the meson syphyseus, the pontus centralis, auratus, the tegmenti, the pendants, the culopontus. You have the parabrachialis, the melodiolus, dodosomotor, and the retroambigulis. So this is from the book by Dr. Layla Africa, Nutricides. Right. In the book, he says that there was only 2, but I was at I lectured with him a couple of months ago at the Brooklyn,
Nicholas.
Nicholas Brooklyn. Yep, in Nicholas, Brooklyn. Shouts out to brother Joel. All right, Joel Benjamin, 528, as well as to his wife Monique. I appreciate that for having us. All right, so want to be able to, but at this particular event, he said is up to 4 activated within the European. So we're talking about 2 to 4 of these nerves that is of these melanin sites that are activated in there out of the 12 that's activated within their brainstem. All right, so he says that all of ours are activated for those that have a good diet, all right, or as we say, live it. All right, so this is the same science here. We see Jesus as the Son of God, S-O-N-S-U-N. And then, of course, the disciples broken down into winter, spring, summer, and fall, the 4 seasons. All right. And then, of course, you see 13 chakra system. Make that transition from 666, from 7 to 616. We begin to start having more chakras. Activation here. More glands will grow. Right, this is what Dr. York was talking about with the barytheric gland being placed in the submental area underneath the chin. Some of us already have that gland now. We talked of another one, Deborah Bliss spoke of a mound shape right at the top of the palate of the mouth, was that they talk about the same thing. So, you know, it's just about, you know, getting these glands, with these glands coming back online, these chakras will also come into place. You know, I don't know if you ever heard of Dr. David Blair's, when he talks about this, he calls it, it's like a mound shape. He said that if men has it, but if women has it, he don't know. Because those who, if the men have it, those are called the sons of God. That's the remnants of the sons of God. If the women has it, he said he don't know if they blessed or cursed. Well, I can say this, is that I know several women who has it, and they are blessed because they are the daughters of God. All right, so you have the sons of God and you have the daughters of God. All right, once again, like we said in the last joint, and if Christ can come as female, come as male, or come as female. All right, so we stop all that ignorance. All right, stop all that ignorance. Get the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. All right, and talking about I am Christ, will, understanding, faith, imagination, zeal, power, love, wisdom, strength, order, elimination, life. All right, those 12 chakras, one above, symbolizes the Christ, just like you see here, symbolic. All right, and it correlates to the, of course, the 12 disciples, Matthew 10:2-4, Mark 3:14-19. Now, the names of the 12 disciples are these: the first, Simon, who was known as Peter, and Andrew, his brother, James, the son of Zebedee, and John, the brother. All right, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew, the publican, John, James, the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, whose surname is Thaddeus. Then Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. Right? So you get Esoteric Masonry by Philotas. Esoteric Masonry is called Esoteric Masonry, or the Storehouse Unlocked. Now, this shit is deep. You need to get it, but this is how we break some of this information down. But Simon Peter, who is Bar Jonah, right, is actually somebody to Kephen Sinuf, Seaman, which is a title, Ptah, Tahudi Ptah, right? And Andrew Bar Jonah, which is happy, sign of the fish or the fishes. The name Simon is the same word as semen. Simply take out the vowels. SMN is what it becomes. Heru is the earliest form of Sebek, right? The crocodile, nature god, called also the fish or sperm. The Sim, right, priest, Sim is derived of semen also of the ancient priesthood was anointed with crocodile Sebek fat and use of oil in baptismal initiations. And besides, Peter is also one of the moderate slang for penis, right? Simon, which also means is a title of Tahuti. Simon held that Christ Heru, right, in his arms as a young solar god. Jesus means ikis, or fish, sperm. Plainly, Jesus is the psycho-physical germ or spermatozoa in the semen. That's just what it is. Now, astrologically, directly behind Thetis, the great well. All right, Mark 1-16. Jesus, saw Simon and Peter, and brothers cast a net into the ocean. They were fishermen, or fishers. Peter symbolizes faith, according to Matthew 16:13-18. Read, whom do men say that I am, the son the son of man is, or am? And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, some say Elijah, others say Jeremiah, one of the prophets of old. Okay? So, one of the prophets of old. Whom do the people say I am? Well, here it is. It says right here. And they said, some say that there art John the Baptist, right? Elijah, Jeremiah, prophet of old. Whom do you say that I am? John, Elias, Jeremiah, and Christ are the answers which was given by the disciples. Right? Now, that means Jesus believed in the incarnation. If all the disciples, he asked that question, and all the disciples came back with people who existed prior to him, right? Right? He said unto them, but whom say ye that I am? In other words, to Peter, right? But I am is the affirmation of the zodiacal sign of Aries, which he is the lamb or the ram, the male sheep or lamb. And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, blessed thou art, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has thou not revealed this unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. Okay. All right, so right here we look at, and Jesus answered and said to him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And I said unto thee, thou art Peter, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. The word faith is derived from the Kemetic title Ptah, the opener. And Ptah has the exact same phonetic sound as Peter, as in Kemetic lore, Ptah or Petra was the revealer to Heru. Metaphysically, Simon Peter, other name is Cyphers, meaning stone, as in philosopher's stone. I get the four gospels esoterically interpreted. P. Scott says Christ, which is the soul, questioned the disciples' 12 pair of cranial nerves concerning his identity to test their spiritual sight and perception. They all recognized that he was a great soul, but Peter realized that clairvoyant vision, which enabled him to recognize the great indwelling Christ spirit. This required spiritual sight and is gained through regeneration. So Peter or Petros means rock, also, just like Cyphers or stone, right? So Peter had built the white stone mentioned in the book of Revelations 2:17, within his being, which is also the philosopher's stone, and is produced by cementing, not calcifying. There is a difference. 144,000 sand-like magnetic particles of the pineal gland, all right, into a hard rock-like condition. And before the throne, there was a sea, like unto crystal. You have John Bar Zebedee, which is Damufti. Zebedee is the Hebrew word derived from the ancient Temerian word sebek, our deity whose fat oil is used to anoint the head of the mess or Messa or Messiah in Hebrew. And James Bar Zebedee, Mset, or James the Less, and the Jesus brother, the brothers of thunder. All right, Mark 3:17. And James, the son of Zebedee, and James, the son of James, and excuse me, the brother of James, and his surname, them Boandrer, Brange, Gear, Boang, Boanagers, Boanagers, which is the sons of thunder, signs, basically Gemini. Gemini is the air, and thunder producing booming sound in the air, right? Gemini represents the lungs. Gemini, John, I am, gracious, symbolizes the spiritual faculty of divine love. Its seat of activity is the inner heart, right? James is the English transliteration of the Hebrew word Jacob, which means supplanter. James represents the faculty of the judgment in the individual consciousness. Its seat of activity is the solar plexus, right? Astrologically, James also symbolizes the constellation Cancer. Philip means level forces in Greek. He represents the faculty of us that through love we master the stubbornness yet vital forces of the human. He symbolizes the throat chakra for control all the vibratory energies of the human body. Astrologically, Peter also symbolizes the constellation Taurus. Bartholomew means son of the plow. All right. His surname is Nathaniel, which is Hebrew, meaning God of gifts from grace from God. Therefore, the conservation of one spirit through the faculty of the imagination can lead one to receive God's grace. Astrologically also symbolizes the constellation Scorpio. Thomas means twins. His surname is Dynamos, which is Greek. It symbolizes the head for reason and intellectual perception. The name Thomas is derived from the Hebrew name Tammuz, meaning summer solstice, which means in the new moon of each July, according to the Hebrew calendar. It is a Syrian, all right, is a Syrian sky god. The name of the Babylonian sky god is also corresponds to the Greek sky god Adonis, which is derived from the ancient Egyptian god Adonai. The name even dates further back. Okay. Thomas is another form of Baal or Baal, though it's short for Greek, Thoth. Okay. So we know that Thomas is also another form of Baal, like we said, Baal or Baal, though it's short for the Greek word Thoth, right? Derived from the Kemetic Egyptian word Tahuti, meaning thought. Mas is short for Mashiach, Messiah, which is derived from the ancient Kemetic Temerian word Mes or Meshi, which means to be anointed. Tom is short for Thomas, which is derived from Tom or Team, which is Tamu or demon. All right. Set is son of negative being, which is another form of Atum. All right. Yeah, Didymos is TT, which is the Jetty mess or Tahuti mess. Astrologically, Thomas also symbolizes the constellation Leo. Matthew means gift of Yahweh. His other name is Levi, which means join. He's the son of Alphaeus, the publican. Astrologically, Matthew also symbolizes the constellation Aquarius. James derived from the Hebrew word Jacob, or Yaakov, means supplanter. He's the son of Alphaeus. He's also known as James the Lesser, right? And the brother of Jesus. Astrologically, James also symbolizes the constellation Virgo. Labaeus means man of heart. His surname is Thaddeus, and his other name is Judah or Judas, which means praise. Astrologically, Labius symbolizes the constellation Libra, right? Simon the Canaanite means a hearing. Astrologically, Simon also symbolizes the constellation Aries, the ram, hence Amen Ra. Right? Judas means praised. Acarius, Alcardus means man of Cardiff, which also betrayed him. Judas' throne is the generative center known as the reproductive system. Sex organs and genitals is the home of the Gentiles. In other words, those that dwell in the lower self or lower nature. Astrologically, Judas also symbolizes the constellation Capricorn, Saturn, or Satan, or Sutra. Jesus is Greek, which means he who saves. Christ is Greek. It also means anointed one. Astrologically, Jesus also symbolizes the sun disk, and it revolves through the 12 zodiac signs, beginning with the sign of Aries, the ram, also the symbol of Amen. And see, the cranial nerves that sits in the circle around the pineal gland. Right, you have the olfactory nerve, the optic nerve, the oculomotor nerve, the trochlear nerve, on the trigeminal nerve. All right, you have the abducens nerve, the glossopharyngeal nerve, the hypoglossal nerve, the accessory nerve, the vagus nerve, and the vestibular trochlear nerve. And these are the 12 pair of cranial nerves. Right? Some people falsely claim that the cross represents death, or that the Holy Cross was invented by Romans. Originally in Africa and Asia, the cross always represented balance, quality, mathematics, and is a companion to the Ankh, representing life, change, and renewal. But as you can see, the cross is being used in Christianity, Sudan, in Egypt, Sudan, Libya, Ethiopia, hundreds of years before Christianity and thousands of years before the Europeans stole it and twisted it into a symbol of hate. Let us reclaim our history. All right, metaphysically, 12 sons of Israel. This is in New Testament, Book of Revelations. 12 disciples of Jesus, equally together, the 24 elders mentioned in the Book of Revelations. Rudolf Steiner, the founder of the Anthroposophical Society, states that the zodiacal nature is microcosmically reflected under the dome of the human being's skull. The highest of these three are the cranial nerves, of which that is indeed 12 pairs as followed. Right? The cranial nerve sits around the pineal gland, the master endocrine gland of the center of the brain. It is metaphysically decoded in Revelation 4:4. And round the throne are 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed with white raiments, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. And the 24 elders fell down before him that sat on the throne and worshiped him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne. All right, this is in Julian the Lotus by Sunyata Saraswati. And of course, in the book of Revelation, 4:4. Right, this is the temple of Hathor and Heru, your Bible, Hagar. All right. And at this, on the ceiling of the temple, you have this right here to the left, which is called the Dendera. That's so the temple of Hathor is also called the temple of Dendera, which Dendera is right here, which refers to the zodiacal signs. Okay. And then you even have the North American zodiacal signs, right, which all correlates to the same thing here. Right, so the falcon is symbolized of Aries, the beaver of Taurus, Gemini would be the deer. All right, brown bear would be. Oh, let's go back. Yeah, the brown bear was going to be. I don't know what it was. The woodpecker would be Cancer. All right. Salmon would be Leo. The brown bear would be Virgo. Okay. The raven would be Libra.
Sunny Day, super chat at $20.
Oh, word. Thank you, Brother Sunny Day. Much appreciation for that. All right. And then, of course, you see the owl, right? And you see the serpent. The serpent, as you see here, will be officious, but it holds the place of also of Scorpio. Okay. Then you see the owl being Sagittarius. Right. And then of course the wolf. Right. Let me see here. Yeah, the goose would be Capricorn. Right. And the wolf would be like Pisces. Yes, wolf would be Pisces. And the other would be Aquarius. And so then the wolf would be Pisces. So that's the way that they have it here, right? Symbolizing the north wind, east wind, south wind, west wind, of course, winter, spring, summer, and fall, right? Get the book Christ in Egypt, Moorish Jesus Connection by D.M. Murdoch, the author of Who is Jesus, right? And it states that the Egyptian religion was a major influence on Christianity, right? But not just Christianity, as we seen within Islam, Judaism, right? Sumerian teachings, all right? Right here, so specifically 144,000 are sealed, that the seal is going to be opened. The number is further broken up into the measurement of 12,000 for each of the 12 tribes, that which 12,000 for 12 tribes mean. Well, the number 12 metaphysically is the number of perfection. The perfection of 12 tribes refers to the 12 pair cranial nerves of the brain, which controls all the physical aspects of the physical body. 12 cranial nerves are the 12 tribes. So see, we thinking that it's the external 12 tribes of Israel, and you standing on the corner calling the white man the devil. Right. Stedman's medical dictionary described them. All the cranial nerves are connected to some part of the surface of the brain. It is termed origin, apparent origin. Right, but their fibers may be traced deeply into the substance of brain to some special matter, all right, termed a nucleus. This is called those that deep religious origin. Right, so nerves, after emerging from the brain at the apparent origin, pass it through the famina, or the what's called the foramen in the dura mater, leave the skull and femina in the base and passes on to its final distribution. And so we connect the seven seals of the seven nations is basically the chakras of the spine, 144,002 DNA, which is the number of 12, the perfection, and 12 cranial nerves of the brain, right? As the mythology represents 12 of the 12 tribes. All right, so you get the four Gospels esoterically interpreted by John P. Scott. All verses show the continuance of the perfection of the body for the Christ force. The people who Christ healed, all right, represents faculties which becomes enlivened and spiritualized. The cities spoken of symbolize these regions of the body in which that the influence of the Christ force. All right, so right here, the influence of the Christ force was active. The polis means 10 cities, and thus with the other two places mentioned, Jerusalem and Judea, right, reveals that fact that faculties are responsible for the all right, so we're talking about the 10 cities. Decapolis means 10 cities, all right? But as a city, it represents a state of consciousness, and it's been mentioned previously as the disconsciousness, right? Or as the consciousness. Disciples of Christ represents faculties within each of us, as I just finished going over, when these attributes follow or corresponds or responds to the Christ within. The 12 conditions of higher consciousness are born. Right, this is what we're talking about. In The Jewel in the Lotus by Master Sunyata Saraswati, he says this: there are 12 sets of cranial nerves that originate in a circle around the pineal gland. All right, we've proven that. All right. But once again, these are the 12 disciples of the cranial nerve. As we went over with those 12 disciples that sat under Jesus. All right, so basically, the 24 elders has been identified variously as those raised at Christ's resurrection. A special group of senior angelic hosts, the group of redeemed select form, part of the heavenly council, all right, of state, prophets and apostles, both of the old and new church, whom Christ has made to be priests and kings. 24 courts of the Jewish priests, which minister at the tabernacle and the temple. Now, all of that is, I'm saying, a whole lot of stuff, but Ellen G. White, she breaks it down. A study of the 24 before and 5 in context evaluation of various view suggests that the 24 elders are representatives of the fallen world, unfallen world in the heaven, which is a congruence with Ellen G. White interpretation. Well, we're not going with interpretations. We took you straight to the source. We took you straight to the source. Right here, so we're talking about the gift of ancestral memory, also called the mind of God, comes directly from the 24 elders. When each individual was born on earth, the elders sent this incarnation of mind of God into the person by detaching it from themselves. Right? So when the elders sent the incarnation into a newly conceived baby without detaching it from themselves, then the ancestral memory became consciousness in that individual, right? Who is then united with the elders. A person spontaneously become aware of it as soon as they reach puberty. In Jesus' case, this happened when he was 12 years old. When he said he had to go be about his father's business. Of course, it's metaphysical. So as you see here, go to Dr. York's information, Science of Healing. He breaks it down. He breaks it down real nice. Right? He's at the center of the six-pointed star, symbolizes the spinal column. The crescent symbolizes the crown, and its divine content for laying under, within the brain is the radiant kingdom of Allah, Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala, within man. The sustainer of this realm is the pineal gland, the lamb. He broke it down to you, just that simple. And he's surrounded by his 12 disciples, or the 12 convolutions of the brain, or the 12 spiritual centers of the brain that relates to the 12 major pairs of cranial nerves, which passes from under the surface of the brain through the openings of the cranius to reach the organs in the man's body. So 12 times 2, which is pair, give you 24. So go to the Dictionary of Angels to Gustav Davison, we get the 24 elders. All right, this is also from Dr. York's information too. He has it in his Holy Tabernacle, Holy Tablet, chapter 9, tablet 18, verse 179, 190, verse by Dr. Malkaza York. But these are the names that you can utilize to activate the 12 pair cranial nerves. All right. All right. A catriel, right, which means the wrath binding one of El, one of the great crown judgment prince placed over all of the angels. And then you have Aniphiel, he who sees El, the chief seal bearer, prince of water. Asbuga, which is the strength of Yah, one of the 8 great throne angels of judgment. All right, who clothes with the garment of righteousness that's deemed worthy among the new arrivals in heaven. Right, Kiel, the lightning of El, one of the 7 archangels, one of the 4 rulers of the seraphims. At Kimuel, helper or assembly of El, chief of the order of power, order of the holy Sephram, personification of divine justice. You have Hakiel, my power is El, my life is El, chief of the holy Hayat cherubims. You have Galagaliel, which is the sphere of El, the eponymous head of the order of Galagin, which made the chariots of the Maccabees, chief angel of the sun. Then you have 8, Aniel, right, glory or grace of El, chief of the order of the principalities and virtues. 9, right, Uphiel, divine beauty, chief of the order of the throne. 10, Yahuel, right? Oh, he is El, meditator of the indefatigable name. 11, Metatron. This is Enoch's angelic name. He's the measurer, the counselor of heaven, prince of the ministering angels. 12, Raguel, also known as Faniel. All right. Friend of El, angel of penance. Cadesian, or Cadison, which means the Holy One. Twin angels who constitute the supreme judgment council of the heavenly court among the 8 exalted hierarchies. They enjoy the higher ranks of that of the Metatron. Now, what they're talking about really is metaphysical, because the 8 that they keep talking about is the 8 dividing cells of mitosis. Those are the 8 cells that never change the whole entire time in your body. Your whole entire life, they remain the same. It's known as the Enad. When they are counted among with Atum, but by themselves they are called the Agidad, which means 8. Now you have Ragariel, my light staff of El, leader of the celestial choirs. Razuel, secret of El, chief of the supreme wisdoms. Rick BL, prayer of El, Yah, an angel appointed with over the divine chariots, angel of the will, angel of the order of Gadagalim. Sophiel, wisdom of El, an angelic bookkeeper appointed over the records of the living and the dead. Samuel, hero of El, master of heavenly, great Archon, meditated between the prayers of Israel and the prince of the 7th heaven. All right. Yanan, O glory, O light, keep up the divine balance. Shariel, El commands, benevolent angel of death. Instructor of Moses, prince of the present. All right, so we go to Yafafia. All right. Lord of El, angel of Torah, instruction of Moses and the mysteries of the Kabbalah. Right? Zagzagal, divine splendor, angel of wisdom, chief guardian of the 4th heaven, angel of the burning bush. Sandalphon, chief or glory of heaven, Elijah John's angelic name. Remember, John was Elijah incarnated, so their angelic name is Sandalphon, one of the great Serum, prince, angels, angel of power and glory. The seat is open to all prophets, 124,000, apostles, 315, messiahs, 1,300, and Elohim, 144,000 to all news bearers. All right, so this is what it says. So make sure you get these 24 angels of light, and understand what is taking place. If y'all need to, you need to get another great teacher of mine is Dr. Clifford Hazel L. under the Moorish rites. All right. he broke the information down also concerning angels and how we need to tap into our angel powers, which are angels of light, right? Um, for those interested in the Moorish classes, we have those every Sunday at 11, 11, 12 o'clock. All right. And basically, what was said on there today was something very important that that the God, Assistant Grand Sheik, Brother Osar, said. He spoke of the fact that Adam named the angels as well as also the animals. So therefore, by naming them, he himself was over the animals and over the angels. So you can command the angels. However, if you forget how to do it, then you probably would want to study the Golden Dawn's information, because that's all they do in there is call on angelic or fallen angels. That's all they do is call upon those powers. Right? The Rosicrucians do some of that information also. Okay, but you definitely need to check out Dr. Clifford Hazel Bay, his book, right? Very powerful. All right, on the angel powers. And you need to check out my book, because my book give you all the names of the 24 elders, just like this, what we just seen, and plus a little bit more, along with the 200 fallen angels, as well as also so much more information concerning on how to master them through your thought process, because that's really what it is. It's something that is inside of you already. And so we know also about the breastplate of the high priest of Levi, of the children of Levi. They walked around with these breastplates and they had these stones in them. All right, like for example, Reuben, which means to see a son, was sardius. Right, topaz for Simeon, emerald for Levi, carbuncles for Judah, sapphire for Dan, diamond for Naphtali, opal for Gad, agate, okay, for Asher, agate for Asher, amethyst for Issachar, chrysolite for Zebulon, onyx for Joseph, and jasper for Benjamin. Okay. Over the 12 disciples, so now we're going to go over the 12 children of Israel. Now, if you want to get another breakdown, another good book would be Black Out the Whitewash by Dr. Suzar. But this is my version right here on the tribe of Israel, or Sarai, or Ra, which is Genesis, the 49th chapter. The children of Israel, the son, or Sarah, formerly known as Jacob or Yaakov, the supplanter. Reuben, behold a son, which is Shu. Manet, Aquarius, water bearer, unstable as water. Okay, he symbolizes discerns faith, jasper, all colors, powerful healer, main impact on the physical body. It works directly with the animal soul of heightened, intense, primal awareness. It is both a divatory and a cosmic stone, or karmic stone, excuse me. It strengthens the liver, gallbladder, and bladder. It works with the chakras and attitudes according to the colors of the stone. Red jasper often worn for protection. Right? Simon and Levi, both brothers. Right, symbolizes Gemini. Everyone set, join him. That's what Simeon means hearing, and Levi means join him. All right, the word receptivity. Levi symbolizes love, and joining force of the divine mind. Sapphire aligns the body, mind, and soul, expands conscious awareness, and aids connection with the higher self. It's excellent for meditation, stimulate psychic development, clarity, and inspiration by activating the pituitary gland. Therefore, it aids the entire glandular system. Chalcedony is excellent for protection against harmful spirits, good health, and safe travels. All right, get you some Chalcedonian. Judah, praise be to Yah. Atum, Segmont, lion, the Leo, the lion, is a lion's whelp. The pineal gland is the home of universal soul consciousness, and it's there that man unfolds converse intelligence of divine mind. Right? So it aids alignment of the subtle bodies, is a good physical, emotional, and healing stone. It strengthens the heart. All right. Defense, immune system, nervous system, and enhances dreams, meditation, and deeper spiritual insights. Zebulon, dwelling, symbolizes Ptah, Kepra Ptah, beetle, Cancer, the crab. It says dwell at the haven of the sea. It symbolizes the abdominal body, brain, or the intellectual in the stomach that directs the digestion as Poseidon over the chemistry of the human body. Sardonyx banishes grief and woe. All right, so we have Issachar, bring rewards, Apis, Adheru, there's Taurus, the bull, strong ass. It symbolizes the substance of earth and the strength of masters, physical plane. Sardis, powerful protection, born to neutralize negative attacks. Dan, judge. Serect, Scorpio, the king, Scorpion king. Shall be a serpent, by the way, symbolizes the faculty of judgment and the order in man. You have the chrysolites, excellent tool for psychic development, and it cleanses and it conditions the emotional body. Right, Gad, good fortune. That's Amen. Right, that's Aries, the ram, the lamb. A troop shall overcome him. The crown of the head, the kind of the head of the people symbolizes the faculty of power. Burrow increases psychic awareness, enhancement, psychic visions, right? Okay, you have Gad, all right, but we're just gonna go down here. All right, the expansion, expanding the mind to grasp the law of nature, chakra, the first eye, crown, molar. Asher, pillar of happiness. Mayat, Libra, the scales, right? He shall yield royal dainties. He symbolizes the faculty of love. Topaz enhances psychic perception, communication with the higher self, and is used to increase vitality. It increases the defense immune system and bring those who wear it good luck. As you see here, it strengthens the defense immune system and bring those who wear it good health, but it's also symbolic to health, to the heart, throat, and first eye. Nefertali, spiritually entwining of Yah, which is Mendez, goat, the Capricorn, the goat, is the hinds that loose. He symbolizes the faculty of elimination. Crystal phase brings out the inner talent, ease, depression, and sexual imbalance. Right, chakra root, chakra, solar plexus. Joseph, he shall increase. Seb or Gab. Right, the archer, his bow. He symbolizes the faculty of imagination. All right, so as you see, the crystal phase brings out the inner talents, ease, depression, and sexual imbalance. Chakra, you have the root base chakras, which is also the solar plexus. Right, Joseph, ye shall increase. Seb or Geb, that's Joseph's name, which is symbolic to Sagittarius, the archer. It says the archer, his bow, he symbolizes the faculties of imagination. And Joseph, right, you have also Benjamin, son of the right hand, Sebek, Pisces, the fish, Raven is wolf. He symbolizes the faculty of active faith and amethyst. Then 13, there's 12 sons, but there's also one daughter, Dana, which means judge, right? Or said Virgo. Right? It says the damsel, she is the feminine qualities of the judgment faculty of man according to intuition. Genesis 34, 1 through 3. You don't know nothing about Dinah, go to the Bible. You go there, look it up. And is the daughter of Jacob, the father of 12 sons. That's the 12 tribes. And narrates she is born to Leah after Leah has given birth to 6 sons. He says that as biblical women often do not part up the material role. Right, this is what we keep showing you here. For the 12 pericranial nerves, the 12 disciples, 12 children of Israel. The 24 elders, 24 angels. All of that correlates. But there's also a 13th cranial nerve. Here's the reason why I showed you Dinah. It's known as the cranial nerve 0 or terminal nerve. It projects from the it projects from the nasal cavity, enters the brain, There's a little bit ahead of the other cranial nerves as a microscopic plexus of unmelanated on peripheral nerve, Sirius, a Sicilla. So once again, this is all metaphysical, esoteric. Jesus symbolizes the pineal gland, the soul being embedded inside of the pineal gland. That when the Kundalini hits it, becomes a flame. It lights up like a candle. Pineal gland is the wick, in which that produces that golden halo around the head. The 12 pair cranial nerves in the process are also fully activated. And therefore, that's Jesus and his 12 disciples, King Arthur and his knights at the round table, the zodiac signs, the sun and the 12 zodiac signs. Get the book, The 13th Disciple, The Life of Mary Magdalene. Closest of Jesus followers, the name of Mary Magdalene, conjure images of a woman, both passionate, devoted, both sinner and saint. And Jesus loved her in return. The 13th Disciple is the first full biography of 13 centuries of a woman who loved Jesus. So she was the 13th disciple, symbolic to the 13th. It's like Dinah, symbolic to the 13th, which is the 13th cranial nerve in the brain, known as the cranial nerve 0 or terminal nerve. How you activate the 24, excuse me. All right, this is how you activate. You do what's called the alternating nostril breath technique. The ratio being 4, 16, 8. You breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it for 16, and you breathe out for 8. That activates the vagus nerve, which is one of the 12 pair cranial nerves in the brain. But this nerve is longer than all the others, and it reaches all the way down into the abdomen area. It helps with the manufacturing of that fish or that seed within the solar plexus, and it also helps with the resurrection of the Kundalini, ascension of the Kundalini. All right, so you would breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for 16, breathe out for 8. All right, this is how it looks. All right, so you're gonna do it 3 times. Breathe in for a count of 4. All right. So if you do this 20 times, each nostril, we begin to start awakening the 12 pair of cranial nerves, or the 24 elders mentioned in the book of Revelation. All right. So I'm going to end that right now for the night. We're going to pick it back up tomorrow and continue on with the sciences because we got to. We ain't got no choice. All right, so continue now for days, weeks, months, and years to come. We're moving toward the most cherished goal of health, wealth, knowledge of ourselves, protection, security, full contentment, and better economic condition. Every action, enterprise, and endeavor in which every wish to be involved is bringing increasing rewards. We're moving closer towards the wonders of God and Goddess and a full release for higher inner selves. Ashe. We out, y'all. Peace.